To talk more on the rise of black female entrepreneurs, I'm joined by Joy Ofodu. She's CEO of Joy Ofodu LLC and a professional voice actor. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Joy, I know about your inspiring journey from a marketing manager at Instagram to a full-time voice actor and content creator. So I want to start by asking you a two-parter question. One, what made you decide to finally work for yourself? And two, what's been the recipe for your personal success?
Honestly, what encouraged me to work for myself is this dream that I had within me. Corporate America is wonderful and full of opportunity. I'm actually not one to speak negatively on it, but I knew that entrepreneurship was calling because now more than ever, it's important that Black women take ownership of their stories. So I knew that by starting my own media company, I could hire myself as the lead voice talent and perform healing humor in games, animation, television, as well as sponsored content. My personal recipe for success, honestly, is harnessing the inner child within me because being an adult and an entrepreneur and a grown-up is boring. So I try to bring youthful energy to it whenever I can.
Very nice. Ownership of your own story, I like that. Because in the past decade, women have dramatically changed the business landscape. And we know now that Black women are the fastest growing demographic entrepreneurs in the US. What do you think are some of the factors driving this?
I'm so proud to see this development in Black women entrepreneurship. I think, some of us think of Black women as being crabs in the barrel in the workplace, but I think the exact opposite. A look back as far as 2002 shows that there's an underwhelming representation of women in ownership roles of arts and entertainment companies. So it's really exciting to see this start to shift and change. I think obviously the first thing to look at is the series of layoffs. You've had high performing Black executive and manager women laid off across companies here in the US, which is super disappointing, as well as climates and workplaces at these 9-to-5 jobs that just aren't fostering and allowing us a full space for our creativity, for our intellect, for our ingenuity to really be fostered. So unfortunately or fortunately, it's driving most Black women to look inside themselves and say, if I didn't have to work for an employer, if I had the chance like Joy to work for myself, what would I do? And so for me, it was becoming an actor and running a media company full time. For other women, that's, for example, leading things in the spirit space, the home decor, consulting. And I've seen a lot of Black women take their skills in-house.
But so some encouraging news there. However, on the flip side, only 3% of Black women-owned companies mature and survive longer than 5 years. What do these statistics tell us?
It's scary. It honestly tells us that we are not being given as much of an equal or equitable shot as our, for example, white male counterparts. If you look even at VC funding, we see less than 2% of VC funding in the US going to Black-owned businesses or Black-owned companies or startups. So it's disappointing. It's a little bit scary. What that tells us, though, is that we have an opportunity, a major opportunity across sectors to invest in Black women who are leading companies. Long gone are the days where we need male counterparts to be able to vouch for us or counterparts of other races. We're able to stand on our own, and with continued investment and support, we're going to see these businesses last much longer than 5 years. It's also not necessarily a negative thing. We are creative. So after 5 years, we might see visions that are even bigger and sell our companies, for example, to start new brands like Honey Pot Company.
And Joy, it's not just with male counterparts. I was reading earlier a report saying that Black women founders, on average, are earning just about 1/6 of the revenue of their white women counterparts. You talked about an opportunity, but how do you think we can, change this and, make that gap closer?
Absolutely. As a Black woman business owner myself, I think I've seen a revolution, especially between 2020 and 2021 when the US had this racial awakening or revolution that Black lives suddenly mattered. I think it's time for people to go beyond realizing or acknowledging verbally that they matter and investing directly. Funds are an excellent way. Mentorship programs are great, but we need actionable support of these businesses. Contrary to popular belief, it is coming from our community. We are large online media consumers. Black folks and Latino folks are some of the strongest media consumers in the United States. And we've seen evidently that the trends that we produce, our fashion, our language, our culture, our music, it's really running the world, as Beyonce might say. So for me, it's encouraging as a media company owner and producer to have the support of the Black community and of these Black consumers. We just need to keep stepping up, and for others outside to go beyond awareness and recognition to direct investment.
You bring up support, Joy. How much support is there for entrepreneurs from minority groups?
Let me talk to you about this. So, I wrote a paper called The Ethics of the Black Tech Economy. And what made me really nervous is that I looked across the foundation of the United States, the foundation of the internet, of VC funding, of social media platforms. These platforms were largely influenced by, and I'm talking about from product to social content to editorial to marketing, influenced by Black women like me who worked at these companies. However, they weren't specifically built for us. We're still seeing algorithmic suppression. So I think that support looks like not just investment, but for everyone who offers a product or a service to analyze how it's enabling, supporting, and encouraging Black creativity. These tech products, these internets of things, these creator spaces and creator funds, they haven't prioritized Black women. It's taken a lot of Black women to study pay gaps, like you mentioned with the 1/6, the influencer pay gap, like I put my studies to at Santa Clara University, and share that to the rest of the world to say, hey, here's what's happening, but now we've told you what's happening to us. Please, it's time for y'all to step in, also add your resources, add your funds, but it's really time for everyone to do an audit. 2020 was about 4+ years ago. So it's time for everybody to step back and see what's been done since 2020. All the commitments that you made publicly as companies, as brands, to diversity, equity, and inclusion. What's the progress that you've made? And if you need a little help, just say so. We'll help.
Inspiring, insightful, so full of hope. Thank you so much, Joy Ofodu, for joining us. We appreciate your time.